Good morning all of you. Welcome back to our course Database Management System. So our today's topic is demonstration of subquery with live SQL. In last lecture we have seen theoretical topics related to subquery. So we understand what is subquery, how to write a subquery, what are the rules that you need to follow while writing subquery, how to write a subquery with select, insert, update and delete. Now in this lecture we'll see the demonstration of subquery with the help of live SQL. So here first rule is that subquery must be enclosed within the parenthesis. So this is what a simple example of writing a subquery. So my problem statement is that I need to get a list of all employee who is working in department accounting. So in order to write the answer for this question, I need to have two tables. One is an employee table and second one is a department table. The reason is very simple. From employee table I am getting employee name and from department table I am getting the department name, because department name is not present in the employee table. So I need to use two tables. One is a employee table and second one is a department table. So this is a subquery: select ename comma department number from employee where department number equals to. So this is what my main query and this is what my subquery: select department number from department where dname equals to accounting. So this subquery will return department number of department accounting. So let's execute this query and understand what output we are getting. So we got the output Clark, King and Miller. These are three employees who works in a department accounting and their department number is 10. So from employee table I don't know what is a name of a department, because in employee table only department number is given. So how this query will be executed? First of all, inner query will be executed. Then whatever the output generated by inner query, use as a input by the main query. So in this case my inner query will return department number as a 10. Then this main query will be executed: select ename comma department number from employee where department number equals to 10, because 10 is the output generated by this subquery. So this is what the first rule that you need to understand: subquery must be enclosed in a parenthesis. Okay, it is just like a concept of nested loop. One loop is present inside another loop, and in order to demonstrate all this command, or you can say all this SQL statement, we are going to make use of four tables. One is a employee table, department table, salary table and the bonus table. But here we required only department table and the employee table. This is a default table that we are using in all demonstration of all the clause in SQL. Now the second rule, according to second rule, there should not be a mismatch between number of columns that is generated by subquery and number of column present in the where clause. Now what is the meaning of this? I will explain, but first of all you just execute this statement and let's check what output we are getting. So in this case we are getting this error, invalid character. So here actually quote is wrong, that's why we are getting, otherwise we are getting different kind of error. I will show you, don't worry about this. Here a single quote should be given in properly. Okay, now just check. Okay, now again in this case data present in the table is case sensitive. Okay, data present in the table is case sensitive. We know that SQL is not case sensitive. Either you are writing in the capital letter or small letter, both are same, but data present in the table is case sensitive. Okay, now it's fine. Now just execute this query and let's check whether it generate any kind of output or not. Suppose it generate output, what kind of output it has generated. Okay, I executed this. So here we got the error, missing parenthesis. So why missing parenthesis? Because here I required one more bracket. Now check whether we are getting output or not. Okay, yeah, this is a error. too many values. Why this error we are getting? Because here if you observe that my subquery will return department number as well as department name, but in my in main query in where clause I have only specified department number. So this department number is stored in department number, but what about this department name, where that department name should be stored? So whenever you will find such kind of situation, you will get such kind of error, that too many values. That means there should be a match between number of number of attributes which is produced by subquery and number of attributes we are considering in the main query. So this mismatch should not be there. Suppose this is a mismatch, you will get such kind of error, that is too many value. Suppose in this case I will remove this department name, then there is no problem. Let's check whether problem is solved or not. So again I execute this. Again in this case now I got the output. Okay, now this is a case, there is no problem, because here in my in where clause in main query, department number single attribute is there, and my main subquery is also returning only one attribute. So there is no mismatch, that's why I am getting the output. So I hope you understand second rule. Now the third rule is that order by clause and between clause cannot be used in a subquery. So let's check. I have written this example. In this case I use between clause in my subquery. So let's check whether this allows us or not, whether it generate any kind of output or not. No, it will not generate any output. It gives error invalid character. So that error is different. Actually it's a error generated because of this single quote. So I just remove this. Okay, now just I execute, so that exactly you know what kind of error is generated. Dname is a invalid identifier. Dname is invalid. Select ename from employee where dname in, select dname from department where dname between A and E. See, this error is generated because between clause is not allowed to use in a subquery. Okay, that is a thing. So you are getting output, you are getting this kind of error because between clause is not allowed to be used in a subquery. Between clause as well as order by clause, but you can use order by clause and between clause in the main query. Now the next one rule is subquery that return more than one row can only be used with multiple value operator such as in. Now in this case again the problem statement is same. I want to fetch employee name who either works in department accounting or research. Okay, again we are writing a subquery to get the answer for this. Select ename from employee where department number in, select department number from department where department in, accounting or research. So let's check whether it produces output or not. I want to get employee name who is either working in department accounting or research. So these are the employee who are working in department accounting or research. So whenever your subquery is returning multiple rows, then at that time you have to use multiple value operator such as in operator. Okay, now so these are the rules that we have discussed. Now here we see the execution of all these SQL query. Now we'll see how to write a SQL query with select statement. Again my problem statement is that I want to fetch employee name who is working in the department accounting. So in order to write the answer, we have already seen this in the first rule, same thing is there, but here I want to tell you one more thing. This same query, first of all I just execute it. Again I execute so that you understand what output we are getting. So we'll get Clark, King and Miller who are working in the department accounting. Now this same query you can write with the help of join operation. We already discussed about join operation. So one of the join operation is equi-join. So this is what an example of equi-join. So same query you can write with the help of join operation also. So in this case you can see Clark, King and Miller. See, this is optional, department number. Here also I can show you department number. If you're thinking that first query will generate different output, second query is also generating different output, this is not the case. Suppose I execute both the command. So here I can see this is output generated for first subquery and this is output generated for join query. So if you look at this, both output is identical. So I want to say that for join operation there is an alternative is to write a subquery. Join operation is very costliest operation because it's a combination of Cartesian product and selection operation. So it is computationally very expensive. So what is the alternative to join operation? Alternative to join operation is writing a subquery. So suppose you come to such kind of scenario, so always your preference should be subquery. Now second is how to write a subquery with the help of insert int. Now first of all we understand what is our problem statement. Our problem statement is I want to copy all the data from employee table to employee one table. Okay, because here we know that employee table is already created. Now I need to copy all the data from employee table to employee one table. So how to write a subquery? Insert into emp1 select star from emp. So this subquery will help us to copy all data from emp to emp1. So let's check whether it execute or not, or whether it generates a error. So it will generate a error that table or view does not exist, because in this case emp1 table is not generated or not created. So first of all we need to create a employee one table. Okay, but this employee one table should have same structure. Same structure means what? It should have equal number of attribute and their data type should also be the same. So how to create a identical table but empty table? I am not going to create a I'm not going to create a employee one table with a data, but I need to create employee one table as an empty table but having same structure. Same structure means having same number of attribute with same data type as that of emp table. So for that purpose we can write this query: create table emp1 as select star from emp where 1 equals to 0. Here 1 equals to 0, that means condition is false. That's why it will copy only the structure from emp to emp1. Let's check whether it creates empty table or not. So I will execute this query and check what output I am getting. So here table is created, but which table is created? Employee one table is created. Now let's check whether empty table is created or data is copied from emp table to emp1. Now just check. So we got this output, no data found, because here only emp1 empty table is created. Now we execute this subquery: insert into emp1 select star from emp. What is the use of this? This select star from emp will fetch all the rows from employee table and copied it to emp1. So let's execute this. So here we got a message 14 rows are inserted. So where 14 rows are inserted? In employee one table. Now again we check the content of employee one table whether 14 rows are copied from emp table to emp1 or not. So here you just check. Here you can see 14 rows are copied from emp table to employee one table. Again this is a very important question. Anybody can ask you, just write a SQL query to copy the data from one table to another table. See, this particular problem statement is so difficult in case of a RDBMS. Means if you if somebody asks you to copy the file from one file to another, just like word file. Suppose I have created a file called as a ABC. I need to copy it. What I will do? I just right click, copy it and paste it. So it will create the new file. But this is not the case in case of Oracle, because in case of Oracle, physical location of the file, physical location of the table is being hidden from the user. So everything that we want to do, we need to do with the help of command. So I hope you understand how to create empty table same as that of another table, and how to copy the data from one table to another table. Now here I can also show you one more thing, how to copy the structure as well as data from one table to another table. Okay, let's suppose here I'm going to create employee 2 table.